This is the Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast on the internet, only on the internet, not on terrestrial, not on satellite, not on cable platforms. This edition is being broadcast timed at 20 hours GMT on Wednesday, 22nd of January 2025. On Sunday, the 22nd of January 2006, there was a rally held at the Brady Center on the Hanbury Street off Brick Lane against the collusion by the Tower Hamlets Council labor control regime with the corrupt plot to dig a crossrail hole in Brick Lane. That rally would have been converted into a support for the corrupt regime, local regime in Tower Hamlets Council, had it not been for the timely intervention by me that tactically changed the direction and the orientation of that rally, and we successfully placed a Khoodeelaar banner behind the speakers. This was a rally that was part of a conspiracy by the then Tower Hamlets Council leader, Michael Crook. Michael Crook et al. Had conspired with the corrupt criminal elements active in Tower Hamlets among the Bangladeshis that wanted to collude with the crooks in the big business, City of London interests, for the digging of the hole. So this is the anniversary. This is the anniversary of that rally. I gave the keynote speech on Sunday, the 22nd of January 2006. And as one of the participants or attendees told me afterwards that the people were so outraged at the plot to dig a hole in Brick Lane that if, as the main speaker at the rally, I had given even the slightest of hints for the participants, attendees, to hold the Tower Hamlets councillors to account, meaning if I had given any hint for these councillors to be beaten up, they would have been beaten up. They would have been beaten to a pulp. Now, all my constitutional, legal, ethical, moral priorities have always been not to take physical action against wrongdoers, but to take moral action against them, which is far more sustainable. So I didn't even think of hinting at anyone being beaten up at the meeting because I could do so. And I could do so with the overwhelming support of the people. But I would not abuse such a prospect. So I didn't. Instead, what I said was very short and was absolutely effective. Now, that was the defining rally that we organized against the Tower Hamlets Council complicity. And there was a strategic direction that was the point of tension, because the Tower Hamlets Council crooks, personified by Michael Crook, they wanted to divert attention of the community away from the behavior and the role of the local Tower Hamlets Council and on the collective entity of the UK central government that was still fronted by Tony Blair. Now, what the Tower Hamlets Council crooks hoped and expected would happen as a result of any focus being placed away from Tower Hamlets Council and shifted onto the collective entity of the UK central government department. If that had happened, then the liability to the local community would have shifted away from the shoulders of the likes of Michael Crook and others. I knew that. And so the maximum pressure had to be maintained against the local Tower Hamlets Council, which we successfully continued to do. That didn't mean that we had shifted the focus away from the central government's duties. We maintained the parallel, multifarious activities, focusing attention and calling on both the local Tower Hamlets Council and the UK central government to stop the plot to dig the hole. No hole in the Brick Lane area. As a result of that successful strategy and campaign, the whole plot was abandoned after 8 years. And from 2010 onwards, they redesigned the alignment of the Crossrail line at a cost of at least 1 billion extra pounds. We caused them to spend the extra 1 billion pounds in redesigning the alignment of the Crossrail line. By doing that, we prevented the Brick Lane area and we saved the ordinary residents of the Brick Lane area, mainly the Bangladeshi community. So the people who benefited to the tunes of several billions of pounds, dozens of billions of pounds worth of property was protected from being destruction, demolished by the Crossrail whole plot. That plot was sabotaged and defeated and frustrated by us at local council level, at the GLA, Greater London Assembly level, and of course the UK central government level, UK Parliament level. So the kind of intellectual, visceral campaign, encounter, confrontation that I mobilized was unprecedented, remains unprecedented. No campaign against any central government plot has acquired the kind of success that the Khoodeelaar campaign achieved in defeating the UK central government, the Greater London Council, Greater London Assembly, the mayor at the expense of the people of London, who was until 2008 Ken Lying Still Livingston. And of course, Michael Crook, the leader of the local Tower Hamlets Council. Ken Lying Still Livingston was exposed as having received re-election money from one of the three City of London imprisoned criminal fraudsters, Gerald Ronson, because Gerald Ronson wanted to erect the Heron Tower on Bishopsgate. And the location of the Heron Tower proposed at that time, the location of the Heron Tower was actually going to be demolished if the alignment was taken away from the direction of Brick Lane. So Gerald Ronson bribed, in effect, Ken Lying Still Livingston, despite the fact that Gerald Ronson was a conservative right-winger, and Ken Lying Still Livingston was a so-called left-winger of the Labour Party. But that didn't matter. They sacrificed their so-called ideological differences. And Ken Lying Still Livingston was paid about £10,000 by Gerald Ronson. And on that basis, Ken Lying Still Livingston was determined not to flinch and to persist in claiming that the alignment had to go through Brick Lane. So we focused on Ken Lying Still Livingston as well. And we held demonstrations outside the City Hall near the Tower of London on the south side of the River Thames. So the demonstrations were held there. We held demonstrations in 2006 outside the Palace of Westminster on the Green. And we held demonstrations elsewhere. And as a result of those demonstrations, including demonstrations on various streets in Brick Lane area and outside the Tower Hamlets Council's then Town Hall in Marlbury Place in Blackwall area. As a result of those activities, the attention on Tower Hamlets Council and the other crooks and criminals was permanently fixed until they gave in. Layer after layer after layer of the criminals, career criminals, elected councillors, elected members of parliament, etc. So that was 22nd of January 2006 when the rally took place in the Brady Centre. About 30 people were on the list of speakers, and they spoke anomalous, idiotic inanities until I spoke. And when I spoke, the whole atmosphere at the rally, at the gathering, transformed into an electric atmosphere. And that is when the moment was absolutely correct and right. For any hint that could be issued by me would have led to the local councillors present being beaten up, literally. That is what one of the attendees told me after the event. We shall be continuing with other editions later during today, Wednesday, 22nd of January 2025. This is ending at 15 minutes long. at 00:23 hours GMT on Wednesday, the 22nd of January 2025.